Hello again, Old Oak Primary School. Miss Hepworth here, attempting to finish some more of my scavenger hunt. So I've so far got up to the letter M because I finished last time with reading Mug and the Granny to You. So my next letter is the letter N. Here we go. Wish me luck. So here we have some nail varnish, and you can use that to paint your nails. So nail varnish begins with the letter N, the N sound. So we've got nail varnish. Oh, Charlie, are you having your nails painted? Very nice. I've come back into the kitchen because the kitchen seems to be where I'm finding most of my objects, and this time I'm looking for something beginning with the letter O. Now you can see I have some pasta that begins with P, I've got some salt there, I've got a mug with some robins on, I've got a kettle, but none of that begins with O. I wonder what these are over here. Now, these are oats, and you can have those to make porridge, can't you? You can have those for your breakfast. So we've got some oats, they begin with the letter O. And how about here in the fruit bowl? Now, obviously there are no bananas in here because you know Miss Hepworth does not like bananas, but I definitely think I can see some oranges in there, and they begin with the letter O. So Charlie, do you think you could help me find something that begins with P? It looks like, do you have a palette there with some paint on it? Is that what you've been doing? Oh, wow, look at your painting. I see you drawn a rainbow and some bananas. Oh, and then you've written your name. That is a fabulous painting, Charlie. Well done. Now I've come looking for something beginning with the letter Q, and this is going to be quite tricky. So I wonder what's inside this handbag. Let's have a look inside the handbag. Oh, we have the book, The Queen's Handbag. Now, I was never going to find the Queen inside my house, but it looks like I find the book, The Queen's Handbag. The Queen's Handbag by Steve Antony. The Queen was ready for her tour of Great Britain when, swoosh, a sneaky swan swooped off with her handbag. The swan was fast, but so was the Queen. She drove after it to Windsor Castle. Then she rode after it to Stonehenge. Then she flew after it to the White Cliffs of Dover. She cycled after it to Oxford. She dived after it to Snowdonia. She sped after it to the Giant's Causeway. She chugged after it to the Angel of the North. She galloped after it to Edinburgh Castle, and all the way back to London. But the swan was nowhere to be seen until the Queen spotted it in the London Marathon, where she finally caught the sneaky swan at the finish line. Ma'am, you forgot your hat. So I hope you enjoyed watching some more of the scavenger hunt and listening to the story The Queen's Handbag by Steve Antony. Now, that's one of my favourite books because I absolutely love looking at all the different places that the Queen goes when she's chasing the swan. And of course, every time she goes somewhere new, she goes by a different mode of transport as well. So she's on a horse, a bike, she's in her car, and at one point she parachutes down. And that's my favourite part of the book, is seeing where she's going and how on earth she's going to get there. So what I thought would be quite a nice idea was to make my own version of the Queen's Handbag. Now I'm sure it won't be as good as Steve Antony's, but it's quite easy to make your own version if you just borrow his idea already. So I thought I would do my own version, and I thought it might be a nice idea to think of different places the Queen could go that you all know about. So I've got my pen, I've got some paper, and I'm going to have a go at writing my own version of the story. So the first thing I need to do is think of who or what is going to steal from the Queen? So in the story of the Queen's Handbag, it's a sneaky swan. So I need to think of who I'm going to choose to steal something from the Queen. Now, someone I know who is very cheeky, who might pinch something from the Queen, is my monkey, Charlie. So I'm going to write down my first idea, which is that instead of a sneaky swan, it's going to be cheeky Charlie who steals from the Queen. So I'm going to write my idea down now because otherwise I won't be able to remember all of these. So my character is going to be cheeky Charlie. Now, I'm doing my neatest handwriting because if I do this and it's messy, when I come back to look at my ideas, I won't be able to read what I've written. So I'm doing my neatest handwriting. So cheeky Charlie. Now, what could he steal from the Queen? So the swan takes her handbag. I think cheeky Charlie would look good in her crown. So I'm going to write down crown. So cheeky Charlie is going to steal the Queen's crown. So the next thing I need to do is think of different places where Charlie could go and the Queen would have to chase him. So I'm going to think of places that are close by to here, where I am now, where I live, and also close to school, so all different places that you know. So let me think, what can I see? So behind me, outside here, through the window, you probably can't see it because the trees are really tall, but there is the River Thames. So I think we'll start with the River Thames. So I'm going to write that down. Now, the River Thames, that's my first place. So now I need to think of somewhere else. I know somewhere that you all know. I'm going to choose Iceland. Iceland, near school, is somewhere you all know. So I've got Iceland. So now I have the River Thames and I have Iceland. Now the next place, where could I think of next? Somewhere you all know, I know. Somewhere hopefully some of you have managed to be, spend some time and you've managed to go to, because it's really close to school, close to where many of you live, and it'd be a nice place to be in the nice weather, and that's the Scrubs. So let's write down the Scrubs. Now I'm going to choose, I think, 5 places in total. So I've got the River Thames, I've got Iceland, and I've got the Scrubs, so I need 2 more places. So I think of 2 more places. Let's go for the community centre. That's somewhere you all know too, because you can all see it from school. And I think school should be the last place as well. So let's write down Old Oak Primary School. So they are my 5 ideas. So now I need to think about how the Queen is going to chase Charlie to all these different places. So let's start with the first one, the River Thames. Well, it's a river. So she's not going to be riding a bike down the river, is she? Because she would sink into the river. So let's go for a boat. Let's go for a canoe. I think I'd like to see the Queen canoeing down the River Thames. So I'm going to write canoe down there. My next place, let's have a look, is Iceland. So how could she get to Iceland? Now there's always lots of traffic by Iceland, lots of cars queuing, so I think probably a bike would be better, because I know I've seen Mr. Smith whiz past me on his bike when I've been sat queuing in my car. So I think we'll go for a bike. So let's write that down there. Now she's going to go to the Scrubs. The Scrubs is lovely and open with lots of trees, and it's green, and it's nice, lots of fresh air. So let's see, she'll be very happy, so let's go with skipping, because you like to skip when you are happy. So she skips at the Scrubs, very good. Let's see, the community centre. You see, it's not very far, is it, from the Scrubs? It's just behind the community centre. So it's not very far for her to go, so she doesn't need a car, she doesn't need a bike. Maybe she could cartwheel to the community centre. She could cartwheel. There we go, let's write that down. And then the last one, from the community centre to the school. So that's not very far either. And I think by now she would be fed up of chasing Charlie. So how about she runs from the community centre to the school? So we'll write that down as well. So now I have my ideas. I know who is stealing from the Queen, I know what he's stealing, and I know where they are going and how they are getting there. So I'm going to write this now in my neatest handwriting to finish my story. It doesn't really look like Steve Antony's book though at the moment. I wonder what's missing. Pictures? Maybe I could draw some pictures to go with it. So I know I've got some good ideas because I've borrowed some from Steve Antony and then I've come up with my own, but my drawing is not very good. And if you've ever been in my class, you will know I'm not very good at drawing, but I'm going to try my best because this is my story. I've borrowed the idea from Steve Antony, but but this is my story I've made. So I'm going to take pride in this piece of work that I'm going to do. I'm going to do my neatest handwriting. I'm going to be really resilient with my drawing, because I can find it easy to just give up because I get frustrated that I can't do it. But I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to do my best, and then I'm going to share my story with you. So wish me luck, and I hope you enjoy my story. The Queen's Crown by Miss Hepworth. The Queen was ready for her tour of West London when, boing, a cheeky monkey bounced off with her crown. The monkey was fast, but so was the Queen. She canoed after it along the River Thames. She cycled after it to Iceland. Then she skipped after him to Wormwood Scrubs. Then she cartwheeled after him to the Old Oak Community Centre. Then she ran after him to Old Oak Primary School, where she finally found the cheeky monkey in Mr. Brown's office. I really hope you enjoyed listening to my story, because I certainly had a lot of fun coming up with those ideas and then attempting to do the illustrations to go along with the story. I really hope you did enjoy listening to it, and I also hope that it made you think that you would like to do your version of the story as well. So if you do, if you end up writing your own, or if you end up drawing the pictures for it, then please ask a grown-up to film you or to take pictures of your story, and then they can email it to me at school. So they can email it to frontdesk@oldhoak.lbhf.sch.uk, and then I can see the fantastic stories that you have been making at home, and I am sure they will be much better than mine. See you soon. Bye.